Listen, we're right in the middle of a global pandemic and the holidays are upon us. So, what are we going to do? Well, in this video, I'm going to be offering you my insights and three main tips that I think is going to help you not only survive the holidays, but also thrive in it as well, whether we're going through a global pandemic or otherwise, just from one healthcare practitioner to a lovely viewer that might be feeling slightly burnt out. So if you've been feeling not only the pressure of the holidays, but also you're feeling slightly burnt out and a bit nervous moving into the holiday season, then just stay tuned and let's get right into this video. Hello everyone, welcome back for another video. I'm so glad that you are here. My name is Meshi. I am the clinic director at Path to Wellness Massage here in Waterloo if we've never met. I'm not only a wellness practitioner, but I also run the clinic as well, and I'm today's host in this channel. So today we're going to be talking about really how to survive the holidays during COVID and how to survive the holiday season under any circumstances if you have had just really hard times each season and you wanted to have just some basics when it comes to not only surviving but also thriving in the holiday season. So this is exactly what we're going to be talking about today, as we're right in the middle of it all, really, as not only cases are rising, but also anxiety is rising. And even if we're not going through a pandemic, I find that this tends to be probably the most stressful and busiest time of the year for most people. So before we move into December, I thought that I would just show you, or I would just offer you some insights that you can actually apply to your life immediately so that you can move into the holiday season with a little bit more ease. So the first thing that I wanted to talk to you about is, of course, first of all, how can we really survive? Can we really survive the holiday season with ease? Is that really such a thing? I mean, generally, most families get together. A lot of people get together. There's a lot of preparation, a lot of shopping, a lot of everything. And even as I'm telling you this, I feel exhausted for you because not only businesses tend to ramp up quite a bit during the holiday season, but also expectations seem to rise. We spend a lot more money than we really initially want to, for the most part. Was that just me? Maybe? I don't know. And there's these heightened expectations of not only the presents have to be fantastic, the food has to be spectacular, we have to arrive on time, the weather has to be great and fantastic, at least for the time being. And then after that, we can, of course, go back to completely clear roads. Again, if you're seeing a pattern here of what I'm telling you, you guessed it. One of the first tips that I have for you when it comes to really surviving, and I mean, honestly, I kind of want to more focus on thriving rather than surviving. By the time we have to survive something, that means that we're barely hanging on. Whereas when you're thriving, then you not only got a handle on it, but then you can also move through it with more intention. So one of the first tips that I have for all of you when it comes to moving through the holiday season with a lot more ease, focus on you. I know it sounds kind of weird, right? Because really we make the holiday season completely about other people at all times, really. And when it's not the holiday season, we like to make it about other people so that we show that we care and we're intentional and we're present and we're completely there. Except what ends up happening, unfortunately, a lot of the cases is that we want to do too much. The expectations get set really high. And the main thing that actually makes a big difference gets completely neglected. And the thing that we think is so important, we place it on this high pedestal. And that's usually the last thing that most people care about. Isn't that interesting? So the very first tip that I have for you when it comes to surviving the holiday season during COVID or otherwise is make it about you. Absolutely make it about you. What does that really mean? Make it about taking care of you first, because when you spend at least a little bit of your energy, a little bit of your time, a little bit of your intention in pouring all of that into you, whether that's through your self-care, through a little bit more sleep, through extra hydration, through having even just an energy bar in your car so you're not starving when you're heading out, or you're buckling down for some online shopping, you make it about you first. You have to take care of you first, because then at that point, not only energetically, you're coming from a completely different space, but you also feel nourished and you're really filling up that well, and you want that to be overflowing, because when it overflows, that's when it's pure and it feels authentic, and it can be getting together with other people, whether you're getting together with other people virtually or in person. If you're not in a lockdown situation, it can feel way more intentional than when you're just rushing through the entire holiday season and then you feel burnt out. So number one, make it about you first before you do anything else. And you can also just kind of make a quick list of what does that really mean for you. What could be like one simple, quick, easy thing that you can do for yourself in the next 5 minutes. It could just be simply, before you walk into Costco, you sit down in calm and you close your eyes. Maybe we'll just do that together right now. I want you to place your feet firmly on the ground. Take a moment, nice even posture, and take a deep breath with me. So through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Here we go. And sigh it out nice and slow. Let's do that one more time. Nice and even. Even just taking these 2 deep breaths for yourself before you head into anywhere else, before you continue on with your to-do list, makes a world of a difference. Tip number 2 is getting grounded. I find that usually when we're making decisions from fear, from anxiety, from a place of uncertainty, from a place of we really kind of want to overdo it so that we feel safe and secure. One of the number one things that you can do for yourself is, actually it's sort of twofold, but really it's the same point, is to get grounded. Because usually when you're finding yourself way too much upstairs, way too much here, there's too many thoughts, too many things, too many worries that are going on in your head, then that means that you're actually not grounded. So whatever grounded means for you, some examples would include taking a yoga class, walking outdoors in nature, listening to the sounds of nature. Getting grounded could also mean just like walking outside and you actually pay attention to your footsteps as it hits the ground or as it hits the snow, and you listen audibly, but then you feel it, and you basically involve all of your senses in that present moment. Because in that present moment, if you pay attention, if you can touch, if you can feel, if you can hear, if you can sense the things in that current situation, then you will find that your worries, the things that you've been like running on overdrive, is actually out there. It's not actually happening right this very moment. It's just a projection of a potential worry or something unsolved that is going to happen, or that you're thinking is going to happen, but you have to entertain the idea at some point that maybe it will not happen, because the possibility of something happening is just as much available to you as something not happening. So the more energy you spend on actually getting back into your body and getting grounded, involving all of your senses, is going to be key when it comes to surviving the holidays. And number 3, of course, is focus. Especially when you are going to be purchasing things or you're going to be spending time with family, again, whether it's virtual or in person, the same rule applies ultimately, is to focus on the spirit of the holiday rather than on the actual physical manifestation of how that's being expressed. So focus on why you care about the people that you care about rather than how you're going to actually pull that off. So instead of getting caught up in that idea that, oh my gosh, but we cannot get together, I'm used to making this beautiful turkey and this, and then your mind spirals completely out of control of why the current situation is not allowing the traditions to be what it was, or how it needs to be different than how it was perhaps last year, or how you're used to doing things. It's sort of part of change, and we're all being stretched in many different ways of finding creative ways to reconnect. But reconnecting, this can be your opportunity ultimately to reconnect to the ultimate reason why those relationships mean a lot to you, whether that's with friends, with family, with loved ones, with people that are close to you, with people that may be overseas. Focus on why those people matter to you, because in your mind, as soon as you start asking open-ended questions, your mind has a very interesting way of looking for answers. So when you're asking a closed-ended question of, I hate this, I wish it was different, your mind really can't go on and solve it. But when you ask, why do I care about these people, or how can I show affection and attention and intentionality in different ways than I have in the past, when you start asking all of these creative questions, your mind has an interesting way of looking for interesting and creative ways of answering them. And before you know it, you might not have the same holiday season that you had before, but you have the opportunity to make it more meaningful than perhaps you've had a chance to in the past. So those are my 3 absolute tips, and this can be applied whether we're going through a pandemic or not, because I think that right now, especially as we're moving closer and closer to the holiday season, this can be our absolute opportunity to get creative and to really showcase exactly why we care about the people that we care about in a unique way, instead of just going back to the same old. And it gives us an opportunity to really start building new traditions, and perhaps looking back and reflecting on what was working and what was not working in past traditions, and what we're really choosing to move forward with in 2021. Because while there has been a lot of heartache and a lot of pain and a lot of heaviness that has been involved in 2020, I need you to understand that equally, at the exact same time, there was also a lot of joy, a lot of expansion, a lot of changes, and a lot of wake-up calls and a lot of aha moments for a lot of people's lives. So they're both equally, it's always going to work like that. It's sort of like that equilibrium, that scale that's sort of trying to balance itself. So no matter where you are on that scale, I absolutely wish you the happiest of holiday season as we're moving into, the slam dunk of it all, as we're moving into December. I hope that this not only finds you well, but you have found this video helpful and useful. Feel free to share it with your friends. And of course, if you are brand new here and you have enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. You can also subscribe to the channel and hit the notification so that you get notified every single time me and my team release a new video, which is usually about once a week, unless of course we get completely caught up in the holiday season and we just kind of forgot to do that. Nevertheless, I hope that you have enjoyed yourself, and comment below. Let me know how you are going to make this holiday season special for you and your loved ones. I would love to hear from you. And in the meanwhile, happy holiday season, and I cannot wait to see you in our next one. Bye.